So we're going to cover off three things now, and those three things are we're going to talk about the fold. So you've probably heard about the fold on web pages. We're then going to go on to images, and we're also going to have a look at headlines. So we're now getting into a really interesting area, which is all about how you design pages. So the fold, you're probably really familiar with the fold, and the fold is all just all about the part of your design that's visible before the user scrolls, and it's really important to think about the fold whenever you're designing your digital product and service. And I think 60 to 80% of users scroll if they expect to find something below, but what you find is that the more users scroll, the less engaged they actually become as they go down the page. So really important still when you're thinking about designing your web page or your email or your landing page or webinar, for example, whenever you're designing that, you really still need to think about the fold and making sure that some of the key calls to action are above that fold. The next thing we're going to talk about is all about images and the importance of images. So there are some really clever ways of actually using images, and images can be used to lead the user's eyes to a specific call to action. So in this particular instance, we can have a look at the user's eyes and we can see where they're actually looking on the page, can't we? And they're actually looking towards where it says, "Hi, my name is Christina. I'm a personal stylist and image maker," but also, there is a "More About Me" button there, and our eyes are naturally led to where the user or the images are pointing their eyes, and it's a really clever trick to think about whenever you're designing your web page. So the more emotion an image adds, the more engaging it is. So there's again another example of Donald Trump looking irate there, and Japan could shoot down Korea missiles, but there's an obvious emotion there, isn't there, in that image? And for that reason, it's really powerful, and it makes us want to click on the story and in this particular instance and learn more about what they're talking about. The next thing we need to start thinking about are headlines or strap lines on an email, for example. And in this particular instance, our eyes are most attracted to the largest, highest contrast piece of text and layout. And whenever you're thinking about conversion elements on a page, the most important thing that you can change that has the biggest impact is your headline on your strap line. So that biggest piece of copy on the page, the original is back. And that's interesting. We can see that it's a Polaroid camera, and then it says the instant photography icon returns with a brand new camera. Explore one step. So we want to have a click on that, don't we, and find out a little bit more about what they're doing. And again, another example of how you could use headlines and how you could sort of impact your users is, having those headlines aligned with the most important content below it. So you can have a big headline, and then you can maybe have that stand first with, again, prominent font, which leads the user to want to read more and find out more about what's going on.